Well, I'm running a couple minutes behind schedule, having some technical difficulties, but I think we're ready to go now. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. So, hello. We are on M number 2. We're talking about muscle today. And is it possible to lose weight and build muscle at the same time? So we're going to talk about this in a couple different categories, but before we start, I need you to do me a favor. I need you, and I'm going to wait a couple seconds here. I want you to make sure you're drinking your water. So I want you to go get some water. If you don't have any water, I want you to go get some water while we're talking. So this is important. We've been talking about water and we've been talking about sleep. And believe it or not, this is going to come into play today. So make sure you go get some water. I'm stocked. I'm ready to go. So make sure you get some water because I want you to be, I don't know how well this sounds, but I want you to be drinking while we're talking today. So go get some water. I'll wait a sec. Let me finish this one. You go get your water. I'm excited about this one, obviously, as a personal trainer, but also as somebody who's really done some dumb stuff before I became a personal trainer, back when I first had gastric sleeve surgery. So this is a really important subject. There's a lot of bariatric surgeons that are out there that will tell you, don't eat this, don't do that, da 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 da. We're going to get down to the root of this and why it's important to make sure you have protein and why it's important to preserve your muscle mass, especially as you're going through the bariatric or any weight loss for that matter. Because even though you're losing fat, you're still losing a slight bit amount of muscle while you're doing that. So I am actually working with a document from Banner Hospitals, and I'm also working with a document from Forbes Health because I want to make sure I have documentation here supporting exactly what I'm saying. Even though I've been trained as a certified personal trainer, this stuff is really important. And so we want to make sure I'm giving you the best, most accurate information out there. Also, my own personal experience. So here's the thing. A lot of people ask, is it possible to lose weight and gain muscle mass? The short answer is yes, it is. The answer you probably don't want to hear is it's not something that happens overnight. So let's just use an example as a bodybuilder. The typical person who decides to start bodybuilding, they don't just build muscle in a month, 6 months. Typically, it takes up to 18 months to 2 years to get ready. And I'm talking about people that are doing it competitively. We're not going to that extreme with this talk. I'm just talking about keeping your muscle mass as you're losing weight. And there's several reasons why. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is most people think there's a conflict of losing weight and gaining muscle mass. It isn't. But I'm going to tell you one thing right now. If you're serious about gaining significant muscle mass, you got to get over that clicky number in your head on the scale. You're going to have to put that aside. And here's why. Muscle, it doesn't take up more space. It actually takes up less space. Fat takes up more space. Let me use an example. If you ever looked at a piece of steak, 1 or 2 ounces of steak, and you've looked at that, and then look at 1 or 2 ounces of Crisco, there's a big difference of how much space that takes up. That's why getting your muscle on board does a lot of things, but it helps trim your body down. Okay. So here's the thing. A trainer that I worked with that owns a gym, he's considered obese, almost morbidly obese according to the BMI chart. So if you're going to seriously do this, you've got to kind of look at some things, and we'll go through parts of that, but you got to kind of go, okay, me personally, going through the weight loss thing, I lost so much weight. I damaged a lot of my muscle because I was stripping muscle and as I was losing the fat. So what we want to do is work out a way for you to preserve as much muscle mass as you possibly can, but continue your weight loss journey. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, let's get to this, okay? So the first thing is, I'm going to give you some tips about what this process has looked like. The first one, obviously, the tips for shedding pounds while building muscle. We're going to say this over and over and over again, but you are what you eat, and abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym, okay? About 80% of your weight loss comes from your food, and 10 to 20% comes from exercise. And society has that, so you can't out exercise. Let me rephrase that. You can out exercise a bad diet, but you're going to lose muscle mass. You don't want to do that. And here's why. I had lost so much weight and so much muscle mass. I literally looked like somebody out of a refugee camp. It was scary. If you ever want me to post those photos, I will. It's taken me a long time to get my head around even looking at those photos, because I, now looking at it, think I did so much damage to my body. So the important thing is, however, you have to have enough calories in your diet to sustain the muscle. Because your body's going to go, I don't have enough calories, so I'm going to get it from somewhere. Okay. So that's the fine line we dance when you're looking at, because your body has time, it has three choices what to do with the calories. It's going to burn it as fuel, it's going to rebuild muscle, or store it as fat. So those are the body's three choices. So what we want to do is burn off those excess calories if you overeat, right? But you just can't sustain that. You'll be in the gym, been there, done that, been in the gym 4 or 5 hours a day, and you're trashed. You're absolutely trashed. So it's not sustainable. That's the thing with this. It's a long, long, long journey. It's a lifelong journey. Okay. So it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So let's talk about a few things, with how to lose fat safely. Let's start there. How do we lose fat safely? All right. So the average amount of weight that they say is safe to lose is about 1 to 3 pounds. Now, this is for anybody who's past the honeymoon period of gastric surgery, or this is for anybody who is not gastric but is just trying to lose weight. 1 to 3 pounds sounds really kind of like, really? But I want you to think about something. 1 pound, okay, 1 pound is about 3,500 calories to put on your body. It's about 3,500 calories. So 1 pound is 3,500 calories. 3 pounds is over 10,000 calories. Okay. So now you're kind of understanding why safely, you go above that, you're not going to be able to sustain it. Okay. You're going to drive yourself nuts. So 1 to 3 pounds is safe. And then I want to talk about one thing that a lot of people don't do. They don't measure their body fat percentage. BMI, to me, throw it out the window. Seriously. Like I said, I know people that are totally muscles and their BMI is junk. Okay. So that was written for World War I or World War II. I don't remember. Please don't quote me on which one it is, but that was for people to get into the military. So they wanted you as thin and little, tiny as possible, right? So body fat percentage is so much more important, and here's why. If your body fat percentage is too high, you're going to have a lot of body fat around here, right? That's dangerous because that's around your vital organs. We don't want that. So focus on two key factors. One is going to be your waist measurement. Women, they want it under 35, men 40, because that's going to talk about the visceral fat. Okay. And then your body percentage, that is a whole nother thing. Now there's 4 ways that you can measure your body fat percentage. And if you don't have access to these, I'm going to give you another alternative. So the first one is skin fold or calipers. Most trainers will do this. And they go in and they pinch and see how much fat is underneath the epidermis or the skin layer. Okay. They take a series of measurements with the calipers. It's like a little pinch. And then they put it in the whatever program they use, and it'll give you your body fat percentage. Pretty good as far as accuracy. Obviously, biometric impedance models, a lot of scales use that. Body I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the body machine we used at the rec center for the gym. There's a lot of factors that can screw up that impedance. Let me give you some examples. If you've had caffeine, if you've done any kind of exercise, if you're not properly hydrated, if you're on a menstrual cycle, that number goes cuckoo. My body fat percentage at the time when I'd done calipers was about 21.5 to 22%. I got on that thing, and I'm not joking, it was 48%. And I know I wasn't 48, almost 0.5% body. So there's a lot of mitigating factors with those. So take them with a grain of salt. Watch them like the stock market. They should be incrementally, those numbers should be going down. You're going to have this, obviously, and especially with menopause, because it's probably going to be more like this, okay? But as long as this is going this way, like the stock market, you're okay. So don't always take those numbers to heart. There's hydrostatic weighing. Obviously, this is the most accurate way. They sink you in a tank, how much water you displace, that tells you when you're submerged in the water. But not everybody has access to that. And then there's something called a DEXA scan. Again, not everybody always has access to this, but this actually is almost like a high-tech kind of x-ray, and it actually shows the layer of fat around your body. So that one also extremely accurate, but not everybody has access to that. Regardless of any of that, if you don't have access to any of those things, here's what I recommend you do. Find a doorway in your house. Find a doorway in your house and take a picture, a selfie, every week. Take a selfie every week. As minimally clothed as possible without, or wearing something like a spandex or yoga pants or something. Show it each week, every 1 to 2 weeks, you should see some progress or change in your body structure. That is the easiest way to do it. Honestly, other than, we can look at weight, height, age, and it's going to give you some kind of a number, but it's not going to be as accurate as seeing the actual pictures. That's the fast, easy. So why do you want to be a healthy weight? Well, let me tell you, there's a couple of things why. Losing between 2% and 10% of your body. Okay, so let's just use a round number because it's math, and it's late in the afternoon. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds. Okay, so 10% is 20 pounds. Okay, I know that seems like a lot, but even if you did 10%, that'd be 10 pounds, right? Okay, is my math right? If I'm not right, somebody shout it out. Okay, so here's the benefits of losing between 2 and 10%. And you're going to hear these things and you're going to go, wait a minute, I heard some of these things last week when we were talking about menopause. Menstrual irregularity improvement, better blood sugar regulation, high blood pressure reduction, triglyceride reduction, and exercise is really good for increasing your good cholesterol, which that's a good thing. It also improves knee function depending on the exercises you're doing in cases of osteoarthritis. Now, I'm going to put a caveat with that because I recently, found out about this stuff. But arthritis in joints, not necessarily heavy lifting or moving or anything like that, but I will say moving with yoga and gentle stretching, huge, huge for arthritis. That's why I said everybody wants me to keep putting the printer in my office, and I tell them no, because every time I print a report, I print a check, I have to get up and walk in the other room. It's a way for me to keep my body moving so I don't stiffen up. Okay. Improvement, and we're going to keep this G, so I'm going to try and keep more medical terms. Improvement in urinary incontinence and improvement in sexual function. Now, tell me that we did not talk about the majority of those when we were talking about menopause. We did. So just a 2 to 10% reduction in your body fat or weight can really help improve a lot of things, ease up those symptoms of menopause. So how do you gain muscle? Let's talk about that. Well, there's a lot of ways. Let's talk about the benefits of gaining muscle first, and here's why. You're going to increase your strength. You're going to increase your ability to perform daily tasks and activities. You're going to increase your metabolic rate. You're going to decrease your injury and risk fall, and you're going to improve your blood sugar metabolism. These are also things that we've talked about. So muscle's really important, especially as we age. That is huge. You don't want to be falling. We won't even talk about what happened today. But you don't want to be falling when you're older, especially. Okay, it can be dangerous, as we've seen. So is it possible to lose weight and gain muscle? Again, it depends on your goal. So the first thing I would say is set a reasonable, that's the word of the day, reasonable weight loss goal. Then break it into smaller chunks. Because here what it is, we think, oh my gosh, I gotta lose 50 pounds. And your brain goes, no. So you know that you want to be at this weight. Okay, not pre-high school where your metabolism was whoosh, and you could eat anything. You could eat a whole, no, because we're not moving as much either, right? We learned that as we get older, we don't move as much. So this is going to take time and it's going to take dedication. This has got to be your goal, not my goal. This has to be your goal. Okay, so pick a reasonable goal to start. All right, so that's the first thing. So now let's look at loss of muscle or gain of muscle and loss of fat. It is possible. One of the things that you need to do to preserve your muscle as you're losing weight, and my bariatric kiddos in here are going to hear this and understand why. The reason why they want you to eat a high protein diet, especially in the first year that you're losing weight, one thing, you're in ketosis. You're burning all the sugar, you're burning fat because your protein's up here. Okay? So the other side of that is you're preserving your muscle. That's why, because the doctors know that as you're shredding weight at wicked fast rates, right, that you're going to be losing muscle along with the fat. It's just a fact of nature, you can't, it's not good. You can't preserve all the muscle as you're shredding that much weight. Even as you're dieting and exercising, you're still losing slight bits of muscle. That's why you need the protein, okay? Now, am I saying you're going to go out and, I'm using this muscle mass not as a bodybuilder, okay? I'm not talking as a bodybuilder. We're talking just the average person who wants to get in good, be healthy, okay? So let me talk about a few things. A lot of you knew I was plant-based, but because of a cardiac condition and also because of menopause, I have these issues. The first thing I'm going to tell you before you make any changes to your diet or exercise regimen, yeah, I know, here comes the lawyer talk. Talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor about it. There are issues tied into kidneys and liver if you have too much protein. Everybody always asks me, what's the right amount of protein? I don't know. I don't know your body, but I can give you a guide. Okay. So the guide for women, typically, if you're exercising, is between 45 and 65 pounds. 65 grams, I'm sorry. Ooh, that's a lot of protein pound. So between 45 and 65. There's days where I have a heck of a time, let me tell you. So let me give you some idea. So you need to include a high quality protein. A lot of people just think, oh, I'm going to go get da da da. No, let's talk about this realistically. I want you to have a high quality protein, okay? And especially if it has leucine in it. Now, there's a couple things I'm going to say here right now. I'm not a big proponent of dairy products. However, there are a lot of new things on the market. I just want you to know, whenever you're purchasing protein, make sure you get really good quality stuff. Because you know what? You're worth it. It may cost you a little bit more. Oh, and it costs a little bit more than more now, but you're worth it and your body's worth it, right? You're on this journey to get healthy. So spend a few extra bucks, okay? So let me give you things. Some really good things that are higher in the amino acids, especially the ones we're looking at to help sustain muscle growth. Chicken, fish, eggs, milk, and dairy products such as yogurt and cheese. Get organic, vegetarian fed. Be careful. Exactly. Undri protein, really good stuff. If you can tolerate whey, really great product. So also, you don't have to eat meat all the time, okay? And so here's the thing for people that are plant-based or trying to incorporate more plant-based items into their diet. Let me say it that way. Legumes such as beans, chickpeas, lentils, and soybeans. One thing, your soybeans, any soy products, make sure that you test them out on your body. Some people have problems with soy, but make sure they're organic. Please make sure that what you're getting is organic. Nuts, seeds, tofu, and tempeh are also, again, with your tofu, you want to get organic. People think, oh, tofu. If I could eat it, I would. Because honestly, it takes on the flavors of whatever you cook it with. And if you get the firmer tofus, they don't have that squishy texture, okay? And they taste pretty good. Just do a stir fry with a ton of vegetables. But the one thing about legumes and those type things, again, lots of fiber. And we got to increase the fiber in our diet, right? But the other side of that coin is, as somebody who went plant-based, and you've got to be careful because you might be a little gassy. We're trying to keep this G. You might be a little bit gassier than normal. So, ease into it, okay? I'm a big proponent of, and I know I get flack for this, but there's times where I just can't get enough protein in my diet for that day, okay? I do supplement with a protein shake. And do I rely on them? No. But there's days when I see my protein levels are low. So Undri is a really good product, They have every flavor under the rainbow. They have plant-based ones too that are actually really, really good. But let me tell you about another one. Evolve is another one that I have found that I like, but it's harder and harder to get. So I came across this one, and I'm not doing a commercial for this, but I just wanted to show you this one. It's newer on the market. And I like this one because it's a non-dairy, it's a pea protein based product, and it has veggies in it, and it's pretty good. It's 180 calories, and it only has 8 carbs, and it's offset by 3 grams of fiber because it has a vegetable blend in there, broccoli, kale, and spinach. So, and it's actually, I like it. This is the cookies and creamless. I think that is hysterical, and it tastes really good. I'm going to tell you how this tastes so good. My 22-year-old loves this, and they're not a protein shake person. They have one that's a chocolatey coffee one. Be careful, it's really got a lot of coffee in it. And then the other one is just a chocolate one. Okay, I get them off Amazon. But again, I supplement once in a while with a protein shake because it is really hard to get in all the protein. Okay, this is if you're trying to maintain major muscle mass. Okay, so again, you're not even major, just losing weight, getting the protein in, it keeps you full longer, right? So let's talk a little bit more. And again, before you ever change your protein intake or your anything, please talk to your medical professional first. Okay. So let's talk about some ways you can build muscle, because we've talked about the food and all that and stuff. And I hope you're still drinking your water while we're talking, because, all right. So let's talk about resistance training. Everybody thinks you got to go in the gym and pump iron to or for building muscle. You don't. You can do a lot of things at home. You can do a lot of things with your own body weight. Think about it for a minute, right? So let me give you some examples. So a couple of them, and again, I'm using this as an outline because I want to make sure I'm giving you a couple of things that I want to caution you on. Make sure you get checked out. You're good for exercise. So, and I use these with my clients, but we use bands, right? And depending on the resistance of the bands, yes, these, you can really get a good workout. And the cool thing is with these, they're convenient, but they also like have an adapter that goes in the door, so you can do upper body, lower body, whatever. These are something, hold on, I threw these on the floor, I apologize. So these I use with clients. I like these bands because you work your lower body with them, and they've got serious resistance. I like them because they've got a little bit of a rubber grippy back, so they don't go right off, right? So again, these are great. You're looking to build the lower body, those are great. And of course, you've got, just dumbbells type stuff. Here's the thing, you got to work on, make sure you're watching your recovery. Okay. Everybody goes in it hard and goes crazy and goes nuts in the gym for 2 weeks. They get injured or they feel like crap and they're not putting in their recovery time. And then they go, I'm done. Okay. So you got to start slow. You can't go into a gym and start bench pressing 200 pounds, right? You got to start slow. If that means you start with 2-3 pound weights, okay. It's a process. This is a process. It's a lifelong process. Okay. So to build muscle, you need to damage or micro tear the muscle. So your body at night, when you're drinking your water and you're getting your proper nutrition, your body at night goes, holy crap, what did this woman do? I got to fix all this stuff. And so it rebuilds, it patches, and it's got to have that protein and those amino acids to go in there and say, I got to fix this. She did 500 of this, da 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 da. So again, your nutrition's important, your water's important, and the other thing that it gets very overlooked, and we've been talking about this week, is sleep. That's when your body recovers. It's huge. And not doing so what I recommend is women, let's say in 40 plus, you start with strength training 1 or 2 times a week. Okay. If you want to walk as your off days, or if you want to do a bike or a recumbent bike or a regular bike, whatever you want to do, that's great. 2 or 3 times a week. So 1 or 2 times a week though, you got to take the time off to let your body fully recover and rejuvenate. Here's why. If you're pushing it all the time, your body's going to finally say, I can't keep up. I'm done. You're going to get injured. You could damage muscles. So you've got to give yourself time, your body time to recover at night, getting your good sleep. We want this for hydrating those muscles, right? So here's the thing I always do. 1 to 2 cups of water before you work out, 1 to 2 cups after. If you're not a drinker while you're working out, some people don't like to do that, but you're going to hydrate those muscles, right? Okay. So the big thing is, yes, you can build muscle while you're losing weight. It is difficult, obviously. It's not something that's easy. But the thing of it is even if you're not trying to majorly build muscle, okay, but you're trying to lose weight, that muscle's important. And we're going full circle. This is towards the end of this, but the muscle is what helps keep your metabolism up. It's what helps you burn body fat, because just even sitting, if you have more muscle mass, you burn more body fat. It takes more time for your body to go, You're just sitting watching TV, right? Your body's got to feed those muscles. So you're going to burn more calories, right? So that's the key. Also, one other thing I want to tell you before I forget, intermittent training. And I'm probably saying that wrong because my brain is mushy today. So here's what I'm going to say to you. This is something a lot of people don't do, but it's really, I found for me, it really helped a lot. If you're on the treadmill or you're outside walking, you're walking at a 3.5 mile per hour walk. That's a pretty good clip. So you want to do that for, for a while as you're walking. And then what I want you to do is pump it up a little bit, right? Push it up a little bit. Go a little bit faster. Even if it's for, to the next light pole, bump it up a little bit faster. And then go back, let your breath come back down, recover a little bit, keep walking at that pretty good clip, right? And then bump it up again. I'm not telling you need to run or jog, right? But walk a little bit faster and then come back down and then walk a little bit faster. Do that. And you could, like me, when I'm on the treadmill, I will walk for 3 minutes and then I'll go faster for 30 seconds to a minute. Here's why. This is interval training. Your body burns fat longer afterwards. Something just to think about, okay? And give it a try. But your body burns fat longer afterwards because you're spiking your heart rate, you're spiking your oxygen, okay? So start easy with yourself. Some nice, easy movement. Yoga's great for, working those muscles, loosen them, and there's some movements that are pretty intense, right? But start easy, 1 to 2 times a week, easy strength training. And we're going to do some more strength training type stuff in this journey. So I'm going to give you one of the ones that I do with my clients because people just don't, they're busy, they don't have time. So I'm going to give you 2 things to do. And watch your knees on this one, right? And if you have hip issues, make sure you get cleared. So the first one's just a stupid chair squat, right? It's a predecessor to a regular squat. All you're going to do is sit in a chair, you're going to stand up, and you're going to sit back down. Do 5 to 10 of those, right? You're working your glutes, you're working your quads, you're working a lot of stuff in there, even your abdomen. So do 5 to 10 of those, right? Just up and down in the chair. You're just standing up and sitting back down, and standing up and sitting back down. This one I'm going to demonstrate. So if you have a standard weight, even if you don't, get a bottle of water is about 1 pound, right? So if you want to start easy, that's fine. If you have something of any substance. So this one, I love this exercise. And the reason why, because it's 3 in 1. You're going to work the bicep, you're going to work the tricep, and you're going to work your shoulders. Okay. So this is really easy to do. I'm going to back up. I've got my headset on so you can hear me better. So here we go. So you got the weight down here, right? You're going to curl up, right? You're going to press overhead. Make sure those arms are back, right, by your ears. Bring those elbows in a little bit. And then you're just going to let that weight go down behind you. Oh, and you're going to feel that nice stretch in that tricep. Bring those elbows in a little bit. Come back up. Down to the chest again, and I'm going to go under so you can see, and then you're just going to go down. So you've hit a bicep curl, right? Overhead press and triceps. You just did 3. You got 3, right? Boom, there you go. So you can do that as an easy workout. You can do 5 to 10 reps, 2 to 3 sets of getting up and down out of the chair. Make sure it doesn't have wheels. Trust me on this one. All right, make sure it's a good sturdy chair, and then do 5 to 10 of those. There you go. Quick, easy workout. Boom, done. Right? Just start. It's a long process. Losing weight. Somebody quoted, Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't become overnight. No, it's a process, and it takes determination. It takes commitment, and it's the determination and the commitment to yourself. Okay, but keeping your muscle mass and building a little bit in the long run as we age and go through menopause is going to be huge for your long-term health. Okay. And as we talked about last week with the cardiovascular issues, as we go through menopause, exercising, even just walking's so underrated. I always tell clients, this is the gosh darn truth. One of the best things we can do for ourselves is walk. And here's why. You're working your cardiorespiratory system. You're working on your lungs, right? You're outside. You're enjoying the weather. It's beautiful. For those of us who live in the desert when it's 110 outside, you're enjoying the scenery of the guy in front of you on the machine, right? So here, just find something that you love to do also. Don't go crazy. Don't go crazy. Just start really slow. If you have any questions, reach out because I'd be happy to answer them for you. But just start slow and just move a little every day and be mindful about what you're eating. Okay. We're going to get more in depth about food, but all of this is tying together as far as these 4 M's, the menopause, the muscle. Next week, we're going to talk nutrition. And I'm excited because we're going to have a guest in between the next 2 lives. I'm going to bring a guest on as part of one of the lives and maybe another time, who is a nurse that specializes in diabetes. And so we're going to be talking back and forth with us so we can get some information. Thank you. I know this is one of my pride shirts, and it says, proud mom, which I am. So, but I'm excited about this. And again, we're learning. This is a journey, especially going through menopause. It is really tough. And if you're postmenopausal, because then you got to figure out what the Sam Hill happens to your body, So, and this isn't, like I said, this isn't all about menopause, but this is part of it because of our age. Okay. So anyway, next week, hopefully I'll be back to a regular schedule. Sunday, we're going to try and do some movement. I have to be very careful, but we're going to try and do some movement. Again, we'll do some stretching, maybe some yoga. But I'll be on Sunday afternoon. And then next week, we're going to be talking about the 3rd M is going to be mouth, and mouth is going to be about nutrition. So if you have questions, bring them. But we're going to dive into the nutrition side of this a little bit. We're going to talk about calories. We're going to talk about protein, carbohydrates, and fats, obviously, but we're going to talk about some things that can help you. And especially we're going to put a little bit of a twist on it with the menopause. And then once I get the timing worked out with my nurse person, we'll probably bring that in because I want to talk about diabetes because that's so prevalent, and talk about this woman's got some amazing things that she can describe, and we want to prevent diabetes. We want to prevent heart disease. So these are the things that we're going to be talking about. So anyway, that's it. I'm done harassing you. So take care of you because we need you here. And we love you, and we want this to be a safe place where we can talk about anything. And we want it to be an educational process, but also a fun process too. So that's it. I'm going to go drink my water. Keep up on your water, and don't make me harass you about the sleep. I'm posting a lot of memes about sleep because it's really important to focus on your sleep. Each week, we're going to focus on one of those 12 things that's going to help you with menopause. Okay? That's it. I love you. Peace. See you Sunday. Bye.